Hi, it's Rachel and welcome to my channel. I'm here for my end of the month update video for May, and this month I feel like I worked on fewer projects, but I did make quite a lot more progress on the projects that I did work on. I have a couple of finishes to share also, so let's get started. The first project that I'm going to share, I worked on this one here, which is Passione Ricamo's Fairy Guide or Evening Star. And most of these, as has been the case for the last few months, have been for Magical Stitches challenges, and I will link that as I usually do in the video description if you're interested and don't know about that group already. So I worked mostly on her dress, and I did some work on her wing as well. This one here I brought down, it's not quite finished yet. All the gaps that you can see on her dress are for beads that I've not put in yet, so she's getting there slowly. So that was the first one. I also worked on my Mirabilia, which is My Lady's Garden, this one here. And I did put quite a lot of time into this one, although it's quite slow progress for the reasons I've mentioned before, the metallic blend on the gate and the fabric as well. But I did get quite a lot of the gate done, which I was very happy with. There's still a huge amount to go, and I did all these flowers too, which I was very happy with. So it is coming to life. You can't really see her face too well there because I've scrolled up, but there's quite a lot of that completed now. It is one that I don't enjoy picking up at the moment because of the fabric, and all these flowers are quite confetti heavy. There's parts here, let me just show you a little bit closer, where the gate and the flowers kind of overlap each other, and that's quite challenging to work on. But I am pleased with how it's coming out, and I do still hope that I can finish this one this year, but we'll see how that comes along. It's one of the positives of being in Magical Stitches that sometimes it's the only piece that fits a challenge, so that makes me pick it up. I love working on her dress, but yeah, that area around the gate and the confetti and the flowers is not the most enjoyable of pieces when I've got other pieces to work on as well. Anyway, we have put in a couple of thousand stitches into that at least. The next one is Soda Stitch Pasta Time, and I love working on this. If you've never worked on a Soda Stitch piece and it's something you're thinking about, I would highly recommend it. They're so lovely to stitch. So last time I'd started the jar, but I hadn't done the tomatoes on the jar, so I've got all of that done and backstitched, so that element is now complete. And because of Magical Stitches, I've got partial elements completed. So there's a design here that's a mat with some mushrooms and onions and chili peppers on, and then there is a bottle with some oil over here as well, and that was for colour challenges. So I needed blue stitches, red stitches, I used the tomatoes for that, and some yellow stitches as well, which I used the oil bottle for. So that's why I've got different elements that are partially finished. But I really love this piece, I love how it's coming out, and there isn't so much to go on here. I think that they're the elements that I've just been working on. So although, I mean, these are quite substantial elements still to go, but then there's just this little band, this lace, and then another row of pasta. So that's, I'd say it's about just over the halfway mark. but I really love working on that one. So I expect that that one will probably be finished sooner than some of the other pieces. The next one, and this is the one I've been working on most recently actually, is Wreath of All Seasons, and I really wanted to pick this one up because I hadn't worked on it last month. So because it's an older piece as well, I think I started this one 2017, maybe 18. But it's one of my older whips, so I definitely wanted to make sure I had some progress on here, and I did a lot of these little flowers here and outlined these little white flowers, and then I moved across and did the sunflower, and then the last couple of days I've been working on this leaf as well. So it's coming on. Then this one, this is quite a small piece, and it's really easy to stitch on. There's there is a fair amount of colour changes in the sand area, but not, you know, it's not real confetti, so it's quite easy to do. And the houses were very easy to do because they're only really in 2 or 3 colours. So this is the one I was working on. I needed this one for a challenge where you needed a mode of transport, so it has the boats in it. And I did quite a lot. I think last time you saw it I just completed the houses, but I'm not sure if they were backstitched or not. But the backstitching makes a huge difference. And obviously everything past the houses, I don't think the sky was finished either. So that's a fair amount of that one done. That's possibly 3/4 completed now. I really like how it's coming out. I've got a companion piece for this one, which I think I showed on my last video, or maybe it was the update before that one. So I'm not sure. I don't think I'll start the companion piece straight away because I've got so many other things to work on, and it'll feel like I'm working on the same one, but I do want them both stitched obviously eventually. And then the final piece that's a whip is my Dimensions 12 Days. Again, this is an older whip, so I definitely want this one finished this year. Last time you saw it I had finished the 5 gold rings, and I think I'd either started the goose or I'd finished the goose, I'm not sure. But since then I've done the 7 swans and the 8 maids, and I've just started on the last row. So I'll show you what that looks like. I have scrolled it up so you can just about see those elements, the swans and the maids milking. And then I've just made a start on the ladies dancing, not much of a start really, but that is the last row, and most of the holly is done across there as well. So that's, again, I want it finished this year, so it's well on track. And then finishes. So the first thing that I did was, again for Magical Stitches, was this one here, which is called Berry Tea. It's by Zamorina, Alexandra, which can be found on Etsy, and I think it's I'm not sure what the name of it is, SA something, but I can't remember the rest, but I will link it in the video description. If I forget, just leave me a comment and I will do that. But I was really happy with how this one came out. Lots and lots of backstitch. I think I counted in this raspberry here was over 100 backstitches, and the only reason that I was counting them is because it was for a Magical Stitches challenge. I don't usually count the back stitches, but I think that was a pop-up event, where it mattered how many stitches you've done, so I counted them for that one. Then I'm just watching them scroll down. Then this one I started and finished. This is a Panna design, but it's on some fabric that I dyed myself. It's a Ladybird on a dandelion, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So that's that one. Excuse me. It's only quite small, so it didn't take too long. And then my big finish is my Marjolein Bastin collage of four seasons collage, sorry. And this is quite a big piece, which I don't know if I can get it all in one go, but it's there. And I'll just show you a close-up on that. So we have over in this corner, starting with spring, no, summer, sorry, this one is summer. And then this side is spring. And then I think one of my favourite elements, I love the birds on the bench and that little mouse. Although I do love everything about this. And then the autumn corner. And winter. So there it is, all done. So all I need to do now is frame it. And that is just about everything. I haven't yet started Enchanted Mermaid. I talked about that in my last video, but I will be starting it most likely tomorrow. I've dyed my own fabric for that, just because I couldn't see anything online that I especially liked, and I had bought a piece online probably about 2 years ago when I first got the pattern, and then when I looked at the fabric I felt it was just a little bit lighter than what I wanted, and there's some quite light colours on her that I thought might blend in a little bit too much. So I will show that progress next month or whenever it is that I do an update. So that is everything, a little bit of a short one because there were fewer projects, but I hope you enjoyed it and happy stitching everyone. Alright, goodbye.